We are glad you're here. We're also glad that Susie Painter, who's the director of the Christian Life Commission Advocacy Care Center, is here, and State Rep Rob Eisler, who's the chairman of the Public Education Committee, also joining us this morning. I want to thank you both for getting up early, taking the time. Susie, let me start with you. Now, you want the Sunset Commission to look at eliminating the Texas lottery altogether because, as I understand it, some of the Texas Baptists feel that most of the people playing the lottery are people that shouldn't be playing it because they have gambling addictions. Do I get that right?
Well, not exactly. We want the Sunset Commission to look at the Texas lottery because it made a lot of promises that it has not kept. And we do feel like that the lottery now has a deceptive product that, by its own demographics, doesn't really, it's not just the addicted folks, but it preys on people who are in low-income areas by telling them they're a winner when they're not, by asking them to spend $50 on a lottery ticket, and then they lose $45, but the ticket says, you've won $5. That's deceptive, and it's taking our population, leading them down a path to gambling rather than savings and prosperity.
All right, Rob, I've heard this argument before. It's got some validity, I suppose. Is the lottery duping people? Are they saying that you've won, you spend $5, you win $1, and say, hey, you're a winner? I mean, are you on board with what Susie says, or how do you dispute those facts?
Well, I wasn't looking to dispute them. Susie does a great job in her research. They've got some great information on gambling overall. I hadn't really thought about the lottery as hitting those kinds of numbers. What was interesting, you know, I call it my daydreaming tax. You know, you buy a ticket and you think what you can do with the money, then you fall asleep. But
does the lottery, the money that is collected by the lottery, it was supposed to go to education, and to Susie's point, and I agree with her on this, is it really doing what it was sold to Texans? I mean, we heard it was supposed to fund education. It was supposed to do all these wonderful things. And then we see all the cuts that are taking place in education. Where's all the lottery money?
Well, there are 2 points to your statement there, Matt, but I'll address the one on the lottery. I know originally it was sold that way, and I guess people are more accepting if they think their money's going to go to public education because they think more money means better public education. And I know just in the appropriations process in the beginning, it just got, from what I understand, because I wasn't in the legislature at the time, it got put in with other general revenue. Mm-hmm. And of course, enhancing state revenue with education being the majority of it would automatically enhance that portion, but I don't think it was ever really earmarked for specific public education disbursement. But when that became an issue, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, I know there were steps taken to point that towards education. So that's kind of a vague answer, but you know, when you put all the money in an account, unless you designate it for one portion of education, to see that account going up and down based on the revenues of the lottery, it's hard to tell that it's exactly going there.
All right, and we are talking about billions of dollars. You would think you'd be able to...
You're talking billions in the state coffers, but the lottery has produced, and Susie's got good information on this.
Well, let me do this.
About $1 billion a year.
Rob, hang on for me if you would. And Susie, hang on. I'm going to give you a chance to respond to what Rob just said. I know you want to. Susie, I want to give you a chance to respond to Representative Eisler's claim that the money kind of all goes into one pot. It's kind of hard to, differentiate between lottery money and other monies. How do you respond to that? I just wanted to give you a chance. I know you started.
A couple of things. The lottery money is dedicated to education, but for every dollar that goes in from the lottery, a state dollar goes out. So, like you said, it's sort of a wash. One thing that we know is that when the lottery was put in, about 70% of adult Texans reported buying tickets, but today it's only about 40% of Texans, so we know that the lottery play has gone down. We also know that the percentage of education spending, the lottery's contribution is shrinking. In 1996, the lottery proceeds paid for about 2 weeks of school in Texas. This year, the money raised will barely cover 3 days.
Rob, let me.
I just think it's time to look at the lottery, ask the questions, and that's why we ask the Sunset Commission. That's their job, is to look at our state agencies and say, how well are they performing? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? And are they being truthful and transparent to the people of Texas?
Rob, real quick, you want to respond?
Yeah, those are good questions, and Susie's got good research, and I think too what she's describing is people are figuring out the math, that it's educational, but look at the odds.
All right. Hey, I want to thank you both. This is obviously something we're going to be looking at and has been talked about for quite a while. Susie Painter, State Representative Rob Eisler, thanks so much for joining us here this morning.